Hey y'all, welcome to Quiet Night Discussions. Today we're going to be talking about our new favorite Pokemon from the Hisuian Pokedex. So this includes all of the new forms, Pokemon, everything released in the new Hisuian region. And we're going to start off with number 5.
Number 5 for me would probably have to be Enamorous. I always thought it was really cool to just add to like an already established trio, and it opens the doors for so many other of the trios in the Pokemon franchise to have further additions. I also like that it's kind of a female counterpart, and they really played into that with it being pink, kind of Valentine's Day-esque love related, but she really does pack a punch.
Enamorous, I like Enamorous. I think it's really cool. I think, the original trio from Unova was probably one of my lesser favorite of the trios from...
Yeah, I really enjoyed them. They were like my first trio I think I ever hunted.
But for me, yeah, I think Enamorous is probably my favorite if I were to pick out of them. So I think it was a nice addition. I think it was pretty cool to see that. I definitely would never have expected them to... It just felt so almost random that if they added that, I would have never expected that kind of form. You know, I would have expected like a new form of like the Johto or they already did the Kanto, but the new like Johto form or something like that from that trio would have been interesting. But for my number 5 is actually Weirdeer, and I love that thing so much because riding around on it once you first are able to get that capability in the game is so fun, and just being able to have it just has that majestic look to it. You know, it has all that big coat and that fur and everything. It looks really cool, and I love that it basically gave Stantler a purpose, and that it has an evolution. Now it's like you see a Stantler and now you have a reason to catch it and evolve it, because for so many times, you know, I remember playing through Gold, Silver, Hard Gold and all that, and Stantler was just a nice way to gain experience right before Ecruteak City. So otherwise it wasn't really, I never used one before, but now on Legends Arceus, it just feels so natural to ride around on it in the game, and the pacing of it and everything is really cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. For my number 4, I would move on to Quillfish, and I picked Quillfish over its evolution because it does evolve, and I think that its appearance, to me, it stands out so much more than its original form and stuff, because ordinary Quillfish kind of just looks like a pufferfish and stuff, but the Hisuian Quillfish just it looks toxic, and I think that's really cool. Also the shiny, I think it's a different approach, one because you're playing on the purple, and there's not a lot of purple shinies or that have actual purple, not like fuchsia or hot pink or anything like that. And then with the silver, very high contrast. You'll definitely be able to tell that you encountered the shiny with that.
Yeah, I think it has a really cool shiny. And Quillfish, yeah, another Pokemon from the Johto region, like just like Stantler. It's just kind of irrelevant, but in this game they gave it life, and that's really cool. But my number 4 is actually Voltorb, and I just, as soon as they released that initial trailer with Voltorb and how happy it was, and I loved the whole like lore behind how it gets so happy that it ends up being explosive, or it'll explode because of how happy it gets. And I love that take on Voltorb. It's so simple, so different, and also it's shiny, just so cool. I just love the very simplistic change, but it makes it such a personality difference that I love that thing so much.
Yeah, and so then this is actually my number 3 for favorite Pokemon too, is the Hisuian Voltorb. For the same reasons, the shiny, so beautiful. Love the black. It's really cool. And then the grass electric type, I think it's very different and stuff. I think they really tried with this game to kind of have more unique typings. And also I just really like that it's still like how, you know, your typical Voltorb is, it's reflective of the Pokeball. That Hisuian Voltorb is reflective of the Pokeball that is in the game.
So yeah, my number 3 is Ursaluna, and just the same thing I love about Ursaluna is for Weirdeer, just riding around on it with being able to use that smell is like, it's just such a cool feature, and it just gives such a nice personality to a Pokemon that you get to see, you get to utilize it. It's just a part of the story and how it can, detect smells from so far away, and I just love that they incorporate that, and it makes it feel so realistic in that it's just like bears in real life, and I love that it's on 4 legs this time from goes from 2 legs on Ursaring and then to Ursaluna, and they even went to a different direction with its shiny, which I think is pretty cool. I like the red on it as opposed to that green on it, but
Yeah,
I think both were good though. But I like that they went in a different line.
yeah, I really enjoyed the Ursaluna, and I like the sense of smell. They really play on that, I guess, natural instinct.
Yeah.
To hunt and find stuff. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and and of course the design is amazing too. But I think my favorite aspect for Ursaluna is just the fact that it just has that cool ability to smell, and the way they incorporate it into the game, I think is what makes me love it so much.
You can continue to use it. It's not a major part of the story, but you still discover things. Like you get the sheets of the story and stuff that you can uncover and stuff, and super rare items. So it's something you can always use.
And I love how he runs faster whenever
when he's on that
when he's like, oh, I got that smell coming.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So moving on to my number 2, I would put Hisuian Zorua. I think we can all agree when it first came out, I think that was a really cool kind of opening to the Hisuian games. But yeah, so I think it's just visually it's opposite from its original form. You get regular Zorua and it's black and red and stuff, but then you see Hisuian Zorua and it's got that pink with that almost silvery white, like it's frosted and stuff. And when you discover it in the Icelands too, it just kind of really makes sense. It almost has a mystical kind of appearance, almost like it should be legendary. It's pretty cool. And then also it's shiny, really cool. Again, with that high contrast, kind of like Quillfish and stuff. You're definitely gonna be able to tell when you encounter the shiny and stuff. And I just think the color coordination is just spot on.
Yeah, that's my number 2, and for basically all the same reasons. When they introduced that first video with it was all muffled up, and then it was that hiker who had gotten lost, and then they had that restored footage of it. I mean, that was like it was just the coolest way to introduce a Pokemon, like that kind of ominous, horrific, like lore behind a Pokemon that
like Sasquatch.
Yeah, like it's so mysterious, and he's not even. That was just such a cool way. It made me love it, and I love the design. The typing is so cool. I've been wanting a Ghost Normal because I was like, oh man, that would be such a fascinating type to. Even though it's so trivial, I mean, it's Ghost and Normal, but I feel like because they're immune to each other, they're so opposite, and it's a cool way. They did it in my opinion, a very perfect way. And then of course, that shiny. I mean, the design alone is amazing, and then you throw it shiny on top of it. I mean, I love the color blue, and I love that. It just works so well on that.
Mm-hmm. And moving on to number 1. My number 1, I feel like, is one that probably not a lot of people would pick, but I think Sneasler, the new evolution for Sneasel, would have to be my number 1. Because to me, it's a form, I don't know, that I didn't know that I needed. Like, to me, Weavile is more of kind of like that, I don't know, royalty, to me, like higher class evolution of Sneasel, while Sneasler is kind of more of that the common folk. Like to me it makes more sense of transition from Sneasel to Sneasler, because like for me, Weavile, the only thing that Weavile has going for it to me is the face. Like you can tell that they have that angry look in their eyes, and also the typing, that poison fighting typing to me is really cool and stuff. And it doesn't make it the best, but I mean, it's still, I don't know, it's cool to me.
Yeah, I think Sneasler is really, I mean, when I first saw the design of it, I was like, oh, okay, but I was a little bit like, I wasn't sure how to think about it, but then once I saw it like in the game, and I saw a regular Hisuian Sneasel, and then I don't know, I think it actually is a pretty cool design, and of course how they implement it with climbing on the mountains, I think is actually fun as well. Mm-hmm. But for my number 1 is actually Hisuian Typhlosion. Now, at first when I saw, I didn't think they were actually going to do for a while I didn't think they were going to do starter forms for the new ones, but then after a while they hadn't released any new forms or anything. I was like, okay, maybe they will. And once I found out that they did, and I saw the initial forms, I saw Samurott and Decidueye, and I was like, oh, I was not a fan of those. And I was like, and then I saw Typhlosion too, and I was like,
But they didn't show with the flames out. I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't have the flames out on it, and I saw that initial sprite of it, or model, I should say, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a tough decision for starter. Maybe, I'll just kind of pick whoever and kind of go from there. But then the moment I saw that thing with the flames out, I fell in love with this thing. I love that it just has that look on it. It just has kind of I don't know, it just looks very chill.
It almost looks serpentine to me. Almost like Medusa-esque with the multiple flames around its nest.
Yes. Like it would grab you, pick you up with its flame. But it looks so cool. I think it looks phenomenal with that. And the typing is so fun. I love the ghost and fire typing on it. I think it works perfectly on it. And I used it as my first starter on my playthrough, and I loved it. I didn't have any issues with it. I loved the entire thing about it. The only thing I don't love, I guess I don't love it shiny so much, but I didn't plan on shiny hunting it anyways. But yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, so I hope you guys liked this video of our top 5, well, for each of us, so I guess top 10 favorite Pokemon from the Hisuian region.
If y'all like this kind of video, be sure to let us know. And if you want to hear any more discussions like this, we'd be happy to hear any ideas that y'all have. So let us know, and we'll see you guys next time.